Hello there, my name is Oliveira. I am a Brazilian attorney, also licensed in Texas and California. And today we're going to be discussing about what types of clients Brazilian attorneys avoid working with. And the reason for recording this video is because if you know the mindset of attorneys in Brazil, particularly let's say the most reputable ones or the most competitive ones, the ones that are usually busy, if you understand their mindset, chances are you're gonna be able to secure better attorneys and maybe even at better rates, because again, whenever a law firm or an attorney, they are trying to get to a type of rate that they're gonna charge you, if it is on an hourly basis or a price, a fixed price for a certain work scope, trust me, they are going to take into consideration the profile of the client, not only in terms of, how capable this client is in terms of paying legal fees, but most importantly, if this client is going to be a good match, if it's going to be a client that's going to work kind of, peacefully inside the lawyer or law firm's structure, and the chances that the attorney is going to have to deliver, a good service and help the client to meet their goals. So the first thing that can scare away a good law firm or attorney is like when you have unrealistic expectations. Like nothing in Brazil gets resolved too fast. So if you come with, an expectation that something could be resolved like in a month or a couple of months, this is not realistic, right? That's the same thing whenever, like a prospect says, well, I want to pay only if there is a result. If there are no results, I don't want to pay anything, right? This is somewhat common in some legal systems, maybe in some markets like the United States, but in Brazil, it's not common at all. Yes, you may have a kind of combination, a mix of like an initial retainer fee and then a contingency fee based on results. This is actually healthy in our opinion, because yes, you enable the law firm or attorney to get some work done, and this attorney, this provider is also going to be motivated to get you maximum results, because then they are going to participate in your success. But again, whenever we see a prospect saying, listen, I'm not going to work with you unless you work on a results based only, this is unrealistic given how the Brazilian legal system works. And then of course, this is just like unrealistic, and this is not going to help this prospect to find a qualified attorney. Another thing we see every now and then is going to be like a prospect with a difficult personality, right? And I think I don't need to explain what a difficult personality is, but I can tell you how we feel about like a prospective client who wants to hire our services, but we can easily tell that this person is going to be causing trouble, right? Like, I mean, it's like a person, maybe, I don't know, with too much energy, but is going to be pushing a bunch of buttons here at the firm. So our concern is that this person, or, it could be a CEO, it could be like an individual with an individual claim. But the bottom line is, whenever we are bringing someone as a client to our firm, we need this person to be able to work with our team. And in our team, of course, like we have senior attorneys, we have, mid-range attorneys, we have like junior attorneys, we have a staff. And to be able to tell that this person or this group of people are going to be able to work in a peaceful manner with our team, this is very important to us, because then we know, all right, I can bring this person, maybe I can give them, like if they need a more competitive professional fee, we can reduce our fee, because I can tell once we bring them on board, they are going to function properly in our infrastructure, if you will, right? Now, if you have a person who you can tell is going to be causing a lot of trouble, is going to be yelling a lot, is going to be complaining about everything, is going to have unrealistic expectations about a service to be provided in Brazil, naturally, we're not going to want to bring this person, or if we decided to bring this person, we're going to need to add something to account for all the time or additional time we're going to need to spend with this prospective client, if you will. Now, I'm going to tell you, it's more like my personal opinion about why we have such a discrepancy sometimes between the expectation of a prospective client and the reality of the market, of the legal industry in Brazil. And it's most probably because those, funny ads that you see in the United States about, attorneys. And sometimes you can hear that in the advertisement. Well, I am, Jack the Hammer. I am, John the Lion, like all those kind of, doubtful taste advertisements you see in the United States. And they usually say something like this: listen, I am standing by to get your call, to take your call. We're going to take care of you. And by the way, no win, no fee, right? That's what you hear. But this is like, even in the United States, and then I'm not just talking about Brazil, but even in the United States, this is going to be possible only for the personal injury field. Because in the personal injury field, it's somewhat easier for you to know when a client has a claim, and a good claim, because maybe it was a catastrophic accident that this person or incident that this person faced, like, I don't know, they lost a limb, like they are in a wheelchair for the remainder of their lives. So you can easily tell that there is a potential large or huge compensation that this person could be achieving in somewhat, particularly when compared to Brazil, a short term, which could be like a couple of years, sometimes 3 years, sometimes even less than 2 years. But for this type of case, of course, you're going to have a bunch of law firms that are going to be willing to take that case without any fee being paid out of pocket, or even the case expenses, because the upside is so big that, yes, the firm can basically fund the lawsuit, knowing that at the end of the journey, in addition to recovering every single cost line, they also gonna get sometimes 40-50% of the settlement, right? Which could be, by the way, millions of dollars. So when people hear those things, and they hear pretty much like every day in the United States, like when you turn on the radio, when you're watching, like a TV show, when you're driving on a highway and you see, those billboards. So people start to assume that attorneys are just like that. They're just sitting on a chair waiting for the phone ring. And I guarantee the vast majority of attorneys, they are not like that. They are already pretty busy, taking hopefully good care of their clients. And therefore, when someone sends an email like with, a laundry list of questions, or someone who's going to even refuse to pay for a consultation, which, by the way, it's mandatory in Brazil, like the Brazilian Bar Association says that we Brazilian attorneys cannot offer a free consultation. So whenever we see a prospect who's coming from that point of view, all right, attorney, here is my laundry list, tell me all the answers, and maybe I'm going to consider hiring your service. This type of prospect is going to be hopeless. And when it comes like to these more competitive attorneys in Brazil. Now, unfortunately for those people, you're going to have still attorneys out there. Maybe they are not the more competitive ones, but sometimes they are in need of getting business, right? Sometimes exactly because they are not that competitive. And then they are going to kind of be enticed to take this type of client and to charge whatever the client is willing to pay. But sometimes because they are taking such client, they are going to have some difficulty in delivering the services, particularly if, again, the expectation of the client is unrealistic, and particularly if the fee being agreed is not enough to pay for that professional to actually deliver the service. And again, like not paying for a consultation, at least here at our firm, is one of the main reasons why we decline a client, right? Like, I mean, whenever we have like one of those laundry lists of questions, or whenever the person sends like a fact pattern and just say, what do you think? Like, can you help? And this and that. And whenever possible, yes, we're gonna provide an idea about fees, an idea about rates. But ideally, and we even say so in our materials, right? Like if you read our About Us page, we're gonna say, listen, if you schedule a consultation, you're gonna increase the chances of working with our firm. Because if we can tell that you're not even willing to pay for a consultation, most probably than not, we're gonna think that you're not a good match. And then out of a courtesy, sometimes we're gonna send you to someone else in the Brazilian market, so you can explore if this person is gonna be a better match than we are. And finally, we have the ethical goals, and thankfully that's somewhat rare here at the firm. And I'm not sure if it is biased, like we work mostly with clients from the United States. And we do believe that in the United States, there is a very, like a good standard in terms of ethical behavior when it comes to lawsuits. So I would say, the vast majority of clients who come to us, they have like reasonable goals for the lawsuit, meaning to recover money from a debtor or from a non-performer business partner. And it's very rare for us to find people who have unethical goals, meaning instead of recovering something, they are more after hurting someone. So this one may also be a reason for us to decline a client when we really see, this client has a kind of strange goal in here, and we are not really comfortable, and therefore we're going to decline. But again, I think we've been very blessed to work with clients from the US and actually other countries, but this could also be a reason for an attorney to try to avoid working with a specific client. And I hope this video was helpful. This is something new to us, to share this kind of thought process behind the scenes. But again, the goal here is not hopefully to sound arrogant, but is actually the opposite. Is to actually open up to share the attorney law firm's mindset and empower you to get the best you can in terms of a legal professional in Brazil. And not only that, by paying the most competitive fee you can, because again, when you avoid those problems I mentioned to you in this video, chances are going to be higher for you to get the ideal professional at the ideal rate. So I hope you like this content. Don't forget to download our ebook, The 7 Things You Must Know When Pursuing a Lawsuit in Brazil, and follow us for more tips.